What's new, crew? Welcome back to Vlogmas. I am sharing with you guys my meal plan for December. Now, if any meal plan that I make ever throughout the year is taken more as a roadmap, December's meal plan would definitely be that. Come the holidays, things can be really unpredictable on where we're eating. Sometimes it just happens to be that like we're over at my in-laws house and we're making cookies and we're hanging out with the kids, and then we end up ordering a pizza and we eat there. So we're just gonna go ahead and start on the meal plan. I plan every meal from the 1st all the way to the 31st. It's a long month, so I want to make sure I have everything set in stone. I got everything that I need, and I'm also have extra things on my list that I know I'm going to need to make cookies and some candies and different things like that that I want to do with the kids. I'm also making sure that I'm planning ahead for lunches and making sure that I'm having lots of leftovers from dinners, because I am going to have my school age kid home for lunch at home, so I want to make sure I have enough lunch items here and different things like that. So let's go ahead and hop in. Meal number 1, we're doing straight tacos. I have not done just straight beef tacos in a really long time. We've been doing like shrimp tacos and fish tacos and chicken tacos. So we're just gonna do straight beef tacos and keep it really simple. I made spaghetti and meatballs a couple months ago, and my oldest daughter was obsessed with them, and she's asked every single like month since to have spaghetti and meatballs, so we're gonna do that for her again this month. I've had pre-made pasty filling in my deep freezer for probably 6 months, and I've got to use it. So I put pasties on my meal plan this month specifically just to get that pasty filling out of my freezer. We're gonna do rice and broccoli, chicken and cheese, and it's like a baked casserole. It's just a really simple dinner and everybody really likes it, and it's still like a really healthy dinner, so I try to squeeze that in there when I can. And if you put enough cheese on top of anything, kids are gonna eat it. That's just my. We're gonna do Tater Tot Casserole. This is actually a recipe that I did not make for a super long time because I ate it way too much as a kid. I'm talking like my mom would make it once a week, and she made enough for us to eat like 3 or 4 days. So I basically ate this meal like 4 days out of the week pretty much most of my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So when I turned 18, I did not make this dish but like once a year because my family loves it, but I just like cannot get past eating it so much as a kid. So when I was taking meal requests this month, my second child was like, hey mom, can you make that casserole with the noodles and the tater tots? So here we are. We're gonna make homemade pizzas at least once this month, but I make my own pizza dough, so really we could do this 3, 4, 5, 6 times throughout the month, but it's something that we always do. It's a tried and true, and all the kids really like baking their own pizzas. With that, I'm also going to get in Aldi's take and bake pizza. I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow, which is the 1st, which is the day that I typically go grocery shopping. It also happens to be a Wednesday, which means I will grab a take and bake pizza. I typically will only do that if it is if I am going grocery shopping on like a weekday, because when I get back home we eat it for dinner and it just makes things really easy. So we're going to do one of those pizzas with, I'm also going to pick up probably two packets of the pre-made salad kits from Aldi's to go with that pizza. All my kids love salad, I love salads, so I'm gonna pair that with that for the first time this month and see how that goes. I was recently flipping through some of my cookbooks, just books that I haven't looked at in a really long time actually, and I have a crock pot cookbook, say that 10 times fast, and I was flipping through and they have this beef ragu that you put over noodles. It looks really, really good, so I wanted to give that a try. I have everything that I need for that minus the beef. They want you to use like beef steaks, but I think what I might do is switch out the beef for venison steaks that I have in my freezer and do that instead. And I think with the tomatoes and the tomato sauce, it'll really like cut down on some of that gamey flavor of the venison, and I don't think after cooking in the crock pot for 8 hours that anyone's gonna know. I picked up this tikka masala sauce last month from Aldi, and I was talking to Katie from Katie Mac, and I will link her channel down below. She was talking about how she mixes that tikka masala sauce with a can of coconut milk, and I was like, yes, that sounds delicious. So I did not use that sauce last month because I wanted to go to the store this month and pick up some coconut milk so I can make that the way that she recommended, because that sounded really, really good. So I'm gonna do that this month. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm gonna make stuffed shells because I have everything I need for that meal minus the Italian sausage. When in reality, I could switch out that Italian sausage for ground beef or something, but my family really does prefer it with the Italian sausage. So we'll see kind of where I'm at in my budget this month, and if I can push getting some Italian sausage, I'll do that. But if not, I'm just gonna make it with the ground beef that I already have stocked in my freezers. I have a couple meals that I pre-made with my Thanksgiving leftovers. I made a couple turkey pot pies and a couple shepherd's pies just off of my Thanksgiving leftovers, and I put them in my freezers. I don't want to let those sit down there too long, so I want to pull those out and use them up right away. I think I have 2 pot pies and 3 shepherd's pies, which will actually work really well because we know how things can get during the holiday season, and having those meals pre-made in my freezer might save me a couple times this month, especially if we're doing Christmas cookies or something and I don't feel like cleaning up a whole bunch more dishes from cooking dinner. I can just grab one of those and pop them in the oven and it'll be really quick. I have a couple meals this month that I'm going to use venison for, strictly because my oldest daughter got a deer during youth hunt and gun season just finished up, and my husband was able to get a deer as well. So we have 2 deer in our freezer, plus we have some like cut up venison tips from last year's deer still in the freezer, and I want to just make sure that we're rotating through those, and I want to get rid of last year's meat. So what I plan on doing, I'm going to rattle them off here. We're going to do venison and noodles. I'm going to make it like tips and gravy, and we're just going to eat it over noodles. That might be something that we eat over mashed potatoes. Most likely what's going to happen is I'll ask my family the day we're eating it, like, would you rather have noodles or potatoes, and we'll see what happens. I want to do venison and roasted veggies. I think what I'm going to do is put my tenderloin either in my crock pot or in like a roaster pot, like a Dutch oven, and bake it in the oven. I'm talking for a substantial amount of time, and roast it with some carrots and onions, and then we'll probably eat that over mashed potatoes most likely. But that sounded really good to me. I'll make like a really nice glaze to put on top of it, and we'll eat it like that. I kind of have that envisioned for my tenderloins, but we'll see. I do have some backstrap that I might use for those instead. I'm basically just going to use a cut of meat that I know will hold up to being cooked in a Dutch oven in my oven for a long period of time. The next thing I want to do is venison steaks. We do have a couple tenderloins left, which is like the best cut of the deer in my humble opinion, and I just want to make some really simple steaks out of it, sear them in the pan with onions and mushrooms, and make a really simple cream gravy. It'll be really, really good. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I have a ton of ham in my freezer left over from Thanksgiving, and when I was scrolling Pinterest preparing to make my meal plan, I saw this sausage and cabbage soup that looked delicious, and I thought, you know what, I could do that but with my leftover ham from Thanksgiving. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make my ham and cabbage soup, and I'm gonna throw in some carrots and most likely some potatoes, cook it down in some vegetable stock, and make a really nice soup out of it. It sounds so good. I want to make some baby Big Macs. I saw these on Pinterest and I thought they just looked really fun. I feel like it's something my family would really, really enjoy, and it just looked really easy. So we're gonna do some baby Big Mac. We're gonna do nachos because, again, super simple and super easy, not a whole lot of ingredients, and I need a couple of those in the month of December just to keep me sane. I want to do baked fish and loaded potato slices, so kind of like loaded potato skins, but I'm just gonna take like a russet potato, cut them into slices, bake them in the oven, and then I'll pull them out when they need probably 5 minutes left, and I'll top them with cheese and bacon bits and chives, like whatever we want. I'll put them back in the oven, bake it for another 5 minutes, and then we'll pull them out. You can dip them in ranch, barbecue, whatever you want, but I want to pair those with some baked fish because I have a ton of mahi-mahi fillets and cod fillets in my freezer. I don't know if I'm watching too much Hell's Kitchen lately, but I thought it'd be really fun to try to make some venison Wellingtons. I thought it would be super creative, and I've been really into learning how to make my own doughs and things like that. So I feel like it's something that's definitely in my wheelhouse now that my skills have improved a little bit. So I want to give that a go and see how that goes. Wish me luck. I'm also gonna do Swedish meatballs because I made way too much filling at Thanksgiving, so I just threw the extra filling in my freezer. So I'm just gonna pull it out, thaw it out, and make up a couple of those Swedish meatballs. I'm gonna do smothered pork chops because I have half a pig in my freezer right now as well, so that's just something super simple. I want to do tomato soup and hot sandwiches. That's something that we do very often and something we really like. I'm also gonna do chili cheese dogs because it's another super easy meal that my kids really like, and I never have to fight with them to eat chili cheese dogs. I want to make stuffed peppers. I'm gonna do the same filling in those that I would my typical Spanish rice, and I'm just gonna stuff mine in a pepper, and I'm probably the only one that will eat stuffed peppers, to be honest. Everybody else will probably just eat the Spanish rice like they normally eat it. My husband had a request, but I will quote him when he says he could not remember what the request was, so I literally just wrote down Joe's request, and probably the day he figures out what that is, he will pick up the ingredients from the store and bring it home and I will cook it. Now we head into the more like Christmas things. So I have my family's Christmas, and then we host my husband's family, and then I left 2 days for leftovers. So 4 days in total for Christmas and leftovers, and I think that's a good amount of days. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will link down below my meal plans for the entire year of 2020 if you're looking for a ton of recipes and a ton of ideas. That whole playlist will be there for you, and you will have 365 days worth of meal ideas for you if you're really needing them. Make sure you subscribe, and of course I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of Vlogmas. Bye.